Hello everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo, and today I'm actually going to be doing a video with the most recent Curated Bead Box. I think it was called Seriously Sassy, and that was for October of 2023. And in there was this really neat locket, and it opens. And you put a little picture in there. You could put two pictures in there. Close it up. And I know exactly what I want to do with this. I'm going to take this locket and then the beads that were in there, these white beads. And I had thought about taking these, but this right here, I went ahead and put a jump ring on there, which came in the bead box, but these beads go through it, so these are going to be too small. So I went digging around another curated bead box. I believe this was the month before last, and I came across this strand of, quote, turquoise. They're man-made glass beads to look like turquoise, and they work perfectly. And then I'm going to use these bead caps that came in this month's box, and we're going to create a necklace for my mom. So last Christmas, December 23rd to be exact, my dad passed away. He got sick real suddenly, and it wound up he had bile duct cancer, and he went really quickly. And we just all really miss him a lot. And so I am going to see if I can get a little picture of my dad to put in here for my mom. So what I kind of thought I would do is just have a little pattern. I'm going to get my beading wire. And I'm going to start with one of the turquoise beads and a bead cap. And a white glass bead, and another bead cap, and a turquoise bead, and just continue with that pattern. Now there are 8 beads here, so there's going to be 4 beads on one side and 4 beads on the other. All right, let's do one more bead. Now for the middle, what I figured we would do is put a turquoise bead, and then the locket, and then another turquoise bead, and finish out this pattern. Now originally, like I said, I had thought about using these E-beads, but this was not staying in the middle. These beads are big enough where it's not going to slip over the bead and be over here or over here. While I'm finishing this other side up, I just kind of want to reminisce a little bit about my dad. I'm the oldest of 3 girls, and there's like 8 years between me and the youngest daughter. Our family has always been really close, and some of the memories I have of my dad when I was a little girl, he used to work on the cars all the time. And some of my fondest memories were just going out there and kind of hanging with my dad while he worked on the car. And he would always explain what he was doing and about the engine. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I always acted like I did. He was always very meticulous about his cars. Always making sure that everything got done. You know, the brakes were changed at the right time and the oil was changed. And he did all that. And he would always make sure everything was clean inside and out. And because he took care of his cars so well, they lasted a really long time. And you know, they took us across country all the time. My mom and dad were from Colorado. We lived in Florida, and we used to go every year out to Colorado, and we drove. So it paid off that my dad took care of his cars. All right, I've got it all strung up. And, you know, I'm trying to figure out, I could do one of a couple of things. I could have this be a short necklace where this just falls in the neckline, and maybe put a chain here. But since this is a locket and I want her to be able to open it up and look at it, I think I'm going to make this a little longer necklace. I know she doesn't wear a whole lot of longer necklaces, but I think I'm going to make this so it comes down long enough where, like I said, she can pick it up and open it up and look into it. So I think I'm going to continue these beads up through here, and I'm trying to decide. Let's see, there were some other spacer beads, and maybe I might use some of those. So I measured this, and if you included a clasp, it's about 9 inches. So I got to figure out how long I want this. If it was an 18-inch, which it's too short, we won't need another 9 inches. Wonder if I'm going to have enough beads here. I don't think I am. So I'm going to have to maybe put some other beads in between. Let me dig around and see what I have. So what I've done, I did stations of 3. So I ended with 1, okay, and then I put the bead spacer bead on there, which these are kind of more like a bead cap. And then I did 3, the bead cap, 3, bead cap, so forth. And I ended with just 1 here to kind of mimic this over here. This is what it's going to look like. Now, this would only be with the clasp only about 17 inches long, which is too short. So I need to go and find some chain that will go with this. And I'll just finish it off with chain. And you know what? I'm going to make it big enough where she doesn't even need a clasp. She can just put it over her head. Easy on, easy off. So let me go find some chain. So here's all my chain. A few weeks ago, I actually posted a short. I am reorganizing my craft room, and I'm doing it little by little. I've done some shorts on going through some of my beads and some videos too. But anyway, I had asked about your help to try to figure out which color bends I want. And I've gone with this color. These I actually got at Walmart. I got some from Amazon, but they were the same price at Walmart. And I like these hard surfaces on the front. Anyway, they kind of look like wood. Anyway, I got all kinds of chain here. And so I've got to figure out, going with silver, of course. Ooh, this might be pretty. I wonder if it's too small. Let's see what this is. This I think is going to be too big. It's too, it's not feminine and dainty like I want this to be. Anyway, let me go through my chain and see if I can find some, but this is kind of lacy looking. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I wish it was a little bit bigger though. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to use these clamshell bead caps or bead tips. And I really like these. These don't have the hooks on them. They're the closed. Do want to make sure of something though. Woo! I'm going to make sure that these are going to fit in the holes. I think they do. I think I've used them in these before. Where did it go? Y'all probably see it. Oh, here it is. Whew, okay. See if it's going to fit in those holes. Yes, it will. So those will work just fine. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of this and I want to add a little tiny seed bead just to kind of finish things off the top there. And then I'm going to put this clamshell bead tip, cap, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I call them a crimp cover, but I don't use crimping beads, so they're not a crimp cover. And we're going to tie 2 knots. 1 and 2. And by the way, I am using 20-pound fishing line, which I have a video all about that. And it works really well. And it's the same stuff you go to the beading department and buy for more. It's cheaper if you go to the fishing department and do it and buy it. Okay, so once I got my 2 knots in there, I'm just going to carefully close this up. This is how we used to do it many, many moons ago, 30, 40 years ago. Clip that off. I kind of run my fingers around there to make sure there's nothing. Like I feel a little bit of a scratchiness there, so I'm just going to take my nail. I don't have much of them, but it's on this side. I'm going to take my nail and kind of pull it up and then push it into that a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so for this side, I'm going to have to cut some off and finish beading this up so they match. So while I'm finishing up the other side, back to my dad, we did a lot of traveling around the United States, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity I had to see a lot of the country. As a Colorado boy, he loved the mountains, and whenever we would go out there, we would always take trips into the mountains, day trips, and just see all the beautiful country out there. The Rockies are just absolutely gorgeous. I remember one year, this was the year I graduated from high school, it was back in '77. Yes, I'm old. He actually took us all on a 6-week adventure across the country. We went through the southern United States, up the west coast into Canada. We had made a little side trip into Mexico while we're down south. And we camped almost the whole way. He and my mom drove the Volkswagen red bus, and we pulled a pop-up camper. And most of the nights, except for if it was too cold, like in Eureka, California, or if it was too hot in Yuma, Arizona was one place. Other than that, we camped out. And, you know, we still talk about those times. We had so much fun. All right, so we're going to do the other side here. I've got the little bead there. And I'm going to put the clamshell thingy on there. And I like to use a pin for this next step. You're going to tie 2 knots, but they need to get inside here. So you just take your needle and you feed it through there. And when you do this part, you don't want to go really tight where this is like all scrunched up, but you do want it tight enough so where you're not going to see the beading thread there. Okay. So we're going to do another knot. Whoops. And feed that down in there. Whoops. Like so. The second one you can tighten. Okay? And then you're going to take your pliers, and again, you just make sure that knot's in there and give it a little gentle squeeze to close it shut. And then clip that off. Feel around, I don't feel anything sticking out. So we got that all done. So now for the chain, and I have decided to use this chain. I had some really pretty, let's see, where did it go? Stainless steel chain, but, where did it go? I thought I had it, it's right here. Oh, here it is. But it's a lot smaller. I love the way this shines, but I think it's too small. So we're going to stick with this chain, and it's kind of lacy, a lot like this locket. So now I got to figure out how much chain I need. All right, so I'm going to take this, put it through there like that. Put it through there like that. Make sure you get through both of those holes. There we go. Close her up. Make sure there's no gaposis there. Okay. And I'm going to put this around my neck like I had it. Make sure it goes over my head, which it does. Okay, and I need to get my cutters. I don't think this is stainless steel, so if this was stainless steel, I would not use your regular cutters. I would use your memory wire cutters. Over here. Just open this up. Put it through both holes. And when you put your chain in, you want to make sure that it's not twisted, because we're not doing a clasp, so you don't want your chain twisted. Put that through there like that, close it up, and we're done. Oh, I know my mom's going to like this, and I'm excited to get my dad's picture in here. Maybe I can find a couple of pictures to put in there. Maybe one of him and maybe one of them together or something. So I want to try it on, make sure, yep, it goes over the head really well. It's a little bit longer than I was hoping for. Maybe I'll shorten it up a little bit, because I kind of wanted it more like that. I don't know. She's tall. I'm only 5'4". She's 5'8". I'll have to decide what to do. In fact, you know what? I think what I'll do, I'll send it to her, and if she wants it shortened, I can shorten it then. But I love the way this turned out. I'd like to thank y'all for joining me, and you have a great day. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingos, signing out for now. Bye-bye.